Good morning. This is Blaine's World webcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You get more information about this show and past shows at my website, which is Blaine'sWorld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. And each week we focus on different things that are happening in the area, positive news and people and organizations. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce two people with an organization which I love the name, College HUNKS, Hauling, Junk, and Moving. And I'd like to introduce Ann Smith, co-owner of the firm, and she's with one of the employees, and that's Christian Pillay, and he's one of the assistant operations managers for the Auden office. And guys, you can wave to all your fans and friends who are watching this. So if you're watching it, that's Christian, and that's Ann. And I should mention that Ann also enjoys connecting with folks in the community, helping them succeed in business. And so the first question I ask guys is, in terms of when I meet somebody for the first time, where did you grow up, Ann, as a kid?
Yeah, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, a little area called Germantown.
Okay, and when you were a little child growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, did you always know you wanted to be this entrepreneur running your own college hauling and moving business? Was that your goal?
That was not my goal. I did not know that. I think that career journeys they're not linear, right? They're kind of more that rock wall. You gain a little bit of experience over here, and you continue over this area, gain some more experience, and eventually all those things line up. So it's been a fun journey.
As a kid, what do you want to be?
I was undecided. I had a lot of different interests, but yeah, didn't know entrepreneurship was in the cards.
And when did entrepreneurship become in the cards?
My husband and I moved down to Asheville. We wanted to live in the area, and there was an opportunity to open a location of College HUNKS, Hauling, Junk, and Moving. And we just celebrated 4 years here. So we came down mid-pandemic and really focused in, and we're an essential service during those days and got started that way.
And so prior to starting the business, had you had any experience in the moving business or the moving industry?
Well, interestingly enough, we were in the corporate world for about 25 years. So I was on the other end. We had a lot of moves within the United States, also had some international moves. So we knew what it felt like to be, on the other end of that, and the stress that it is involved, and how our other worlds were professional worlds, and my background was career development prior to this. So bringing those skill sets and combining it to work with our team here has been an added joy.
I was going to say, I imagine, as you said, you're still working with career development in terms of your team or the people you've worked with. And we talk about them, I should talk about one member of the team, and that's Christian. And so, Christian, the same thing, you got involved, you grew up where?
I grew up in Asheville, born and raised.
Okay, so one of the few people, I don't come across so many people born and raised, more so now than used to be, but you're born and raised in Asheville. Same thing too, when you were growing up as a kid, did you always know you wanted to be in the moving business?
No, not at all. Whenever I was a kid, I was more focused on like being a WWE superstar or being some kind of sports star or something like that. But no, it never really crossed my mind up until about 2 years ago, whenever I started working at this company.
Before that, did you wrestle as a kid?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
if you count, doing it on the trampoline with my brothers, but no, other than that, I did not.
Okay. And so then you've got hired about 2 years ago, and you've been with the firm for 2 years. And so I'll ask you, and I have to say, one of the great names of all time, I just love the name. When I saw it, co-owner of College HUNKS, Hauling, Junk, and Moving. How not you come up with, but how did they come up with that name?
Oh, so we're, go ahead, Christian.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll ask Ann. Yeah.
We're a franchise. There are about 220 locations of College HUNKS, Hauling, Junk, and Moving. And HUNKS is an acronym, although you have two HUNKS in the digital space right now, right?
Two. Okay, right.
Mhm.
And I think we've lost Ann for just a second.
And we'll be right back.
Hold on one second. Hi, Blaine Greenfield here again, and we experienced some technical difficulties, but I think everything is okay. And we're speaking with Ann Smith and Christian pronunciation
Pillay.
Pillay,
Christian Pillay.
both involved with a company called College HUNKS, Hauling, Junk, and Moving. And I was asking Ann the origin of the name. And so it was an acronym.
Yeah, thanks, Blaine. College Hunks, Hauling Junk and Moving as a franchise, and the HUNKS is an acronym. First of all, you've got 2 hunks in your digital space today. We're honest, uniformed,
Well, no,
nice.
excuse me, 3.
Oh, are you got your
Oh.
uniform? Well, you're an honorary today.
Okay,
So we
thanks.
provide excellent service. Our goal, and that's our brand promise, is that we're going to provide excellent service to reduce our customers' stress during their moving or their item removal service. So it's
Okay.
kind of that catchy marketing. And I also can tell you, because I know you're about to ask me if I'm still in college, so I'm going to pause you on that fact. But then, and the name college is because one of our founders was at the University of Miami, which is why the trucks are orange and green, and that's why it's got college in the name. But we are all in the University of Stress-Free Service.
And so go the acronym. The acronym stands for what?
Honest, uniformed, nice, knowledgeable, and service.
Okay, great acronym, great name for it. And so how did they come up with the name for it when they started? How old is the business?
The business, it was started in the 90s, I think it was 95. And one of the founders, there were 2 founders, Nick and Omar. And Omar and Nick were friends, one college, and during their summer years, they borrowed Omar's mom's van. She had a furniture business. They printed up flyers and went around and hauled people's junk. And the story goes that they came into the house one day, and Omar's mom said, "Well, aren't you guys 2 cute college hunks hauling junk?" And they were clever, and they didn't do anything about it. They just went about their ways. And then a few years later, when he was at the University of Miami, there was a business competition, and he wrote up a business plan. What they did for the summer would it be an actual business, what that would look like. And he was one of the entrepreneurship contest winners.
And was this business?
This was down at the University of Miami. So his concept was college hunks hauling junk. They didn't add the moving piece until later.
Okay, it's great because I forgot who it was. Oh, it was the guy who did FedEx, I think, and entered a competition and he failed it or something. He got an F in the competition and he started the competition. But these guys had the idea and then it was successful. So they started.
Yeah, he was one of the winners of the University of Miami entrepreneurship contest, right?
So that started in the 1990s. And how big is the company?
We've got over 220 franchise locations throughout the US, and then we've got one in Canada as well.
And so what guy gave you the idea to start it in Asheville? You were living in the area at the time?
We actually moved down from the Midwest. We're from the South originally and ended the corporate career and wanted to start something on our own. And we really appreciated the core values that College Hunks, Hauling Junk and Moving is based on. And one of those is building leaders. So that's a big focus of ours. And that's why I'm excited that Christian is on the call again today. He was actually one of the nominees for Hunk of the Year out of all 220 locations. And he received the award for Hunk of the Year.
Oh, did you really? Wow. Good job. Well, I have to ask him then, since we're kidding with him, Ann, but as Hunk of the Year, so one of the things you get to wear a t-shirt, is that correct? And if I get, we say Ann's, but can I see your t-shirt, the Hunk of the Year?
The Hunk of the Year? I'll have
yeah.
to grab it really quick.
Well, no, you can stand up. You wear, aren't you?
Yeah, this one?
Yeah, wearing it. That's the Hunk. So now, talk about, so how did you get to be chosen? That's a great honor. How did you get to be chosen Hunk of the Year? What did you have to do?
Well, it was kind of the choices from, corporate and everyone with College Hunks that actually chose me to be the Hunk of the Year. But I mean, what I think, kind of got me the title is ever since starting at College Hunks, at first I was just like, oh, this is a job that's gonna, get me through the summer, get some money in my pocket. And then it kind of just blew up to actually being a corporation that I could really see myself being a part of for a long period of time. One of my main goals in this corporation is to, one, invest in myself to be a better leader and a better person so that people can look up to me, but also be there to invest in the guys that are coming through the door. And I think, with the hard work that has been put in and my investment for other people and the investment that Ann and Todd and the entire corporation has put into me, I think, that was a big reason of why I was able to come out on top this past February at the College Hunks reunion. So
was there a competition of any sort, or did you have to lift boxes and,
No.
trucks?
So,
No. There were nominees from all over the country, and then there was a vote that took place, but it didn't have anything to do with physical characteristics.
Oh, if it was, then I would have been way higher than what I was. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, I digress. I can't think of the name, but there was a guy who did a TV show, and he would help businesses get the business off the ground. And one of the things he was helping a gym, and so he said he would have people work for the gym, and they would have to move stuff. They'd have to be movers, so that you'd have to. That was the exercise you'd have to do, moving.
You
And
do get paid to work out here, absolutely.
well, exactly.
We're a customer service company, and we do it through moving and junk removal. We're not hiring people that are laborers. We're looking for people that have great communication skills, are problem solvers, critical thinkers. They're positive minded, good energy, and they're coachable. And that's what I love, is to see our team members really develop and grow. So, to watch someone that like Christian, that's coaching people that are much older than he is, or having even difficult conversations with customers. These are life skills. And so whatever these hunks, these employees are doing later in their life or continuing on, they're gonna build these skills while they're with us, and they'll take them, and they're all transferable skills.
How many employees do you have now?
I think we're around 45.
Okay.
Yep, 45.
Wow. So, and each team is how many people? 2 or 3 in the team?
It depends on what the needs are. It depends on what the inventory of someone's, home is that we're moving, or how big the service is. We also do commercial moves and commercial junk removals. So some of those can be really, really massive projects. So we put the according number of team members out there for safety and efficiency.
Now, your team members, I'm interested. Do you have any women who are members of the team?
We have had several that have been hunks out in the field. Currently, we do have one. She is a basketball athlete at UNCA. Her name is Nasira, and she is with us. And we've got several that are in the office. But yeah, from time to time, we do have several. We also had a college wrestler this summer as well.
Well, excepting we should call them, I guess, hunkettes, as opposed to hunks,
You know what? We just go with hunks because it feels a little bit better.
Now, let me ask you, Kristen, even when you got the job, so I guess you saw it advertised, was there a physical requirement on it, or did you have to pass a test to be able to lift stuff and carry stuff? Was any part of that?
Yeah, for the job, with any of our hunks that we're bringing on, we want them to be able to at least lift 75 pounds. That's kind of the biggest requirement. Everything else can kind of be taught, with endurance and customer service things and everything like that. So that's really the only, I guess, requirement. But anything physical like that, that can be improved. It can be taught, and I think we do a really good job with not delineating who we bring on. Like we've had plenty of different sizes of people coming in, guys with different physical attributes, and we really, like I said, we try to invest in every single person who walks through those doors. If they think that they're going to be good for it, then we'll give them a chance, and usually it works out for us. So
was that a requirement?
Blaine, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you've ever moved yourself, but it's very complicated. You're moving households. It's stressful. So again, the type of people that we're working with and coaching up are able to assist in that process, reduce that stress, let them know that they're in good hands with licensed and insured movers and professionally trained. So we really try to say, hey, it's going to be okay. You're in good hands. We've got this.
And I wish I had known your time, because I've had a couple movers over the last, X number of years, but the worst one I ever had, and we combined 2 households. My wife was moving one before I got married, and I was moving another, and both at the same time. And it was a mess. It was like the worst move we ever had, one of the horror stories.
It's complicated, no matter how perfect things go. It's just a complicated process. So we really want to elevate that experience for our customers, let them have a wow experience. That's one of our core values, is listen, fulfill, and delight. And if you get a chance to read our Google reviews, they speak for themselves. Our team does a really nice job.
Now we'll talk about the moving part of it, but you mentioned you do other stuff than just moving. And what were some of those other things then you do?
We do. Christian, do you want to have a stab at that?
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So, with the moving, we also do the junk removal, which is in our title. And then we also have labor services and move labor services. So, if someone wanted us to just come they have their own truck. They loaded their own truck. They just want us to come and unload it. If they're coming, from across the country or a couple states over, a lot of times they'll have a college hunks in another location, load them up in the truck, and then they'll hire us on the way back down. We'll unload that truck for them, and that's what's called a move labor. We've done plenty of services, for hotels, different different businesses around the city, assisted living care places. We actually did a job a couple years ago where we moved out all of the mattresses in a hotel and then put brand new mattresses back in. We do just recently we did a restored someone's garden, took up all of the mulch and everything and replaced all the lining and helped them plant new plants for the spring. So it's really just with our clean outs too. We just recently cleaned out an Ace Hardware in the city. So got that all cleaned out, ready for whatever that they're going to do for it. So it's really just whatever people need done, they'll give us a call, and we're most likely gonna take it on, and we'll make sure that it's taken on in a safe manner, and also be able to relieve the stress for whoever gave us a call that day, because usually they scouring for somebody to come out and give them a hand, and we're always there to help if we can.
Have you ever had to work with any hoarders?
Yes.
Definitely. That must be a tough one though, in terms of
we really try to vet each situation and understand what we're walking into before we get there. So sometimes those hoarder situations might require some additional assistance. So we really try to understand what the situation is. We're very collaborative, Blaine. So we work with a lot of partners in the area. For our item removal services, our junk removal, we work with a lot of nonprofits to donate those items, anything from Habitat Restore to ABCCM, their crisis ministries, and many more. So in a situation, if there was a hoarder or something like that, we would probably reach out to someone that specializes in, because sometimes there's an assessment or some additional needs of that situation.
And you mentioned, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to add on to Christian Services. We took on interstate moves in the last year and a half. So we have the ability to start a move in our territory and go throughout the nation. So that's been really exciting, getting our drivers
what's the
DOT certified for safety and being able to help our customers, where
just let me just jump in here right a second. Okay, Blaine Greenfield here again. I think we solved all the technical difficulties, and we're speaking again with Ann and Christian with College of Hunks hauling junk and moving service. And you were telling me that now you have the capability, you can move somebody anywhere in the country?
Correct. We do interstate moves as well. So
now, as that happens, your team goes all around, it goes through the whole job, or do they team up with somebody else?
Correct. That's a great question. So when someone selects College Hunks hauling junk and moving to move with the interstate, they're getting the individualized, customized use of our truck. No one else's items are going to be on there. We're not hot, and it's our team that we are hot, that our employees are the ones that are going out on the trucks, and that will be unloading. And that's important. Not every company has the same practice, but that is how we do it. Yeah. So you can be sure that the people that are packing up your home are the ones that will be going onto the trucks to unload.
Now talk about that process, because a lot of people don't realize that if you're hiring a moving firm, you can ask them, and Christian was saying this a little bit, to do different kinds of tasks. So one of the things you can ask them to, which I've done, is they can actually pack you up. Is that correct? You can pack and unpack.
Our packing services are additional service. Yes.
Do a lot of people take advantage of them?
Several do. Yeah. It's not inexpensive, and it's an addition, but it's a nice service to be able to provide so that folks can focus on the other aspects of changing.
It's one of the pleasures to, have somebody else do it for you rather than do it for yourself.
Going to say, going back on that collaborative, as we work with a lot of professional organizers, and so sometimes that's a nice resource for our customers. So for instance, shout out to Green Mountain Space Organizing, Carrie Meyer Home, Sorted Out, and several others. We really enjoy being able to have those resources for our move consultant to be able to share with our customers if there's a need, for organizing or for, as you mentioned, unpacking. We typically don't unpack and that type of thing. So again, we would like to work with the collaboration within the community.
Do some people ask you that before they have come on board with you to ask to help them organize their homes?
Absolutely. Our move consultant goes out, our salesperson, move consultant, and she meets with people, in their homes to discuss their inventory, what their needs are, what their concerns are. And so you can imagine people may have a house full of kids. They may both be working, and it's complicated to find the time to get packed up and to, you may as well go ahead and organize and declutter while you're in that packing process. And that's what we love. If we're on a move and someone has a couple items or furniture or a lot of things that they no longer want, we can go ahead and do item removal while we're on that move service and remove that for them. So it's one stop. It's very comprehensive service. We move the stuff you love, and we responsibly get rid of the stuff that you don't.
There's one of the stupid things that people do, and I guess you see it all the time, Christian, as well, probably, is that when people move and then they take stuff and then they get rid of it on the other end, that they pay to move it. Do you see that often, Christian, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been plenty of cases, back whenever I was on the trucks running jobs where, we'll move all these things. Every single move, we take time to make sure everything is wrapped and padded, looking nice to where that it's not going to be shifting in the truck. We're not going to have any damaged goods or anything like that. But, we will get to the destination address, and then we'll be, where would you like this piece? And then we're like, oh, I'm not too sure. And then by the end of the day, you're putting it back on your truck to take it back to the office to go to donation. So, it comes with it. Some people, like, they're not sure what they want to do, because moving is a very stressful time, which is why, we want to come in there. We want to offer the best stress-free service to kind of decrease the stress from our clients. I know that, we can't relieve it all, but we can at least relieve a little bit of it and let them know that they're in good hands whenever they're working with College Hunks Haul and Junket Moving.
How about this issue? My wife is pretty good on it, but I guess a lot of people aren't, where you're told that the person can make the decision where the stuff wants to go, or do you help them make that decision in terms of moving it from one room to another? Do you get involved in that at all?
Yeah, it kind of it depends. Also, like, I whenever I was on the trucks, I did like to tell clients, like, we're not only are we movers, but we're also interior designers, so we can kind of gauge where stuff might look nice. But it's always, where would you like this piece? Where's the best place for this to go? If they're kind of on the edge of where it should go, sometimes we will kind of be like, oh, well, it looks really nice over here, kind of give our opinion a little bit. But again, it's not all up to us. It is up to the client, but they will ask us, where we think it looks best. And, I mean, we'll tell them where we think, but we like to leave it all up to the client, because, this is their home. This is their stuff. So we want it to be exactly how they would like it before we leave for the day. So
one of the things I'm hearing from you now is you're not on a truck. You were saying before you were on a truck. You're not on a truck now in terms of moving?
Yes, sir. It does kind of depend. I am one of the ones that does go on a lot of the interstate moves.
Oh, okay.
But with the local moves, I kind of not really stepped away, because I'll hop on a truck any day if it's needed. But in the last 7 or 8 months, I've moved into the office, into the operations manager position, and it's great, kind of being on the inside of what's going on, and knowing what happens out on the trucks, and actually being able to use that to my advantage whenever we're booking jobs, or kind of having those tough conversations that Ann was talking about earlier. And it's really had my skills exceed what I expected them to within the company. I never thought that I would be working an office job in general, but Ann and Todd, they've invested in me so much to get me to the level where I'm at. So I couldn't be happier where I'm at in the company.
The only drawback, though, I imagine, is that now you have to join a gym, as opposed to when you're out on the unpacking and loading every day, you're getting enough exercise, so.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
I was going to mention the developmental steps. When someone comes in and joins us, we start. So these are the progressions that Christian's made, from wingman to senior wingman, captain to senior captain. And then now he's in, in the operations area. So those are the different, leadership things. Leadership is really big part of what we do. We believe that we're all humans. We're all, consistently learning. No one is finished, right? We're all still building our skills. I did want to give a shout out to JM Leadership. Jason Muhammad has helped. He's had several cohorts of leadership classes in the community, and Christian and several other of our hunks have attended that. We also have some internal building leadership events that happen. We've got an annual one called the Building Leaders Summit. That's a 3-day event that we hand select who is going to attend, and the skill sets that they're able to learn quite a bit with that. As well as we have community speakers that come in and join us once a month after a captain's meeting. So we've had anywhere from bankers to come in and talk about savings and credit. We've had Well Roots Counseling come in and talk about the importance and the way you can regulate your nervous system. And that's really twofold. If our team members can understand how, to calm themselves down when the customer is stressed out, then we're better able to handle a customer when their emotions are heightened, right, with the stress of a move. So we have different, again, community partners that can come in and assist with that. Asheville Personal Training came in recently and talked to us about nutrition and exercise and the benefits of both, and really try to target what our hunks are interested in, and really can further their development and really just things that can help them grow as a human.
Yeah, APT, I'm very familiar with them. I love Michelle, so that's you work with Michelle there, Asheville Personal Training?
Michelle and Alex came over to do a presentation.
Let me put you on the spot, and if anybody's listening and they're looking to get a moving company, typical moving company, they're going to move either within Asheville or throughout the country, what kinds of things should people look for when they choose a moving company?
Yeah, that's a great question. They really want to take a look into the background of the company. What are the reviews? Are they licensed? Are they a licensed mover? Are they insured? As a licensed mover, we're regulated by the North Carolina Utilities Commission. And these are very important things. If you were to use an unlicensed mover, maybe you found someone online and the truck has a turnover, what's going to happen? There's all kinds of things. And then there's also the safety issue. If we background check our employees, we professionally train them. We're not going to send someone into someone's home that hasn't passed our criteria. And I think that's why we have less of a turnover within the industry, and why we've got a good caliber of people.
And so those are you're talking also. So how important is to ask to have the mover be bonded, or all your folks are bonded and insured? Is that part of the process?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And what does that entail? What does that get me if I hire you?
When we're licensed and insured, yeah. So that basically means that we have the coverage, the cargo coverage if an accident were to happen, and so forth. Mm-hmm. Taken care of.
Okay. And also, I'm really impressed. Like I said, I've never heard so much training from a moving company. That do all your employees go through different kinds of training?
They do. When we do training, it's in several steps, and half of it is on culture. It's our brand standards. It's the culture of who we are, and then we also do obviously the technical training. And what we have found, many people that are they learn best, right, by doing things in chunks, chunking your time. And so they'll do some classroom training, some technical training, putting those things together when they're on the job, and then continuing to expand. It's as Christian as we'll do higher level training, but as we just have promoted a group from wingmen to senior wingmen last week. And so we had 2 trainees and we had 4 employees sitting around the table doing learning higher competencies about how to run jobs, the things that you can run in, things that can, ways to troubleshoot, to set our customers up for success, and those kinds of things. And again, I think that's interesting, because that shows that we do invest, our time and our being into that.
And Christian, even when you came on board, you just talk about the idea that I guess you also have to be trained in terms of just moving and lifting stuff. And it's not just necessarily all muscle or all strength. There's a whole, do you teach that to people, or is that something you can learn, how to move stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Ann said, we do take the time to do technical training with the guys. With a lot of pieces of furniture, you got to turn them different ways, put them in awkward places, carry something very awkwardly to be able to get it through doorways or downstairs. And we also do train on proper lifting techniques as well, because the classic thing with being a mover, it's gonna hurt your back. But with the measures that we take to when training our guys, we make sure that they're lifting correctly, make sure they're not arching their back, or make sure they're staying on their heels, keeping their bodies in a nice way to where they're not going to be absolutely dying at the end of the day, or future in life. So we definitely want to take the time to provide the safety measures and the knowledge on being safe on the job, because this is a very physical job. There is a lot of space for error. And but with the technical training that we do, I think that we do a very good job with making sure that everyone is doing their job efficiently, but also in a safe manner for themselves and also for our clients' goods as well.
And have you ever had a situation where you asked to do a move and something couldn't be moved, or it just didn't fit in? Like, that must be horrendous, if you ask to move a piano or something and it doesn't work. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, it definitely happens. Some clients, they'll tell us that they want this in this certain spot, and if it physically does not fit, then we'll have that conversation with them, let them know that if you want this in another place, we can 100% do that. But with it not being able to physically fit into this space, we apologize, but we're not going to be able to get it in the spot that you would like. But if there's any other place that you would like us to take it, we 100% can. But we can't do the impossible. So but yeah, we definitely come across times where we can't get items into certain rooms, but we always do try to make up for it. And if they do have another location in mind, then we can take it to that location. But also, with whenever we do run into something like that, I always like to tell our guys that doesn't matter how many hunks that we have on the job. If we have 2 hunks, there's 3 hunks out there, because the client is involved with the move as well. Like, we're moving their goods, the things that they love dearly. And if we come into a situation where we don't think that, one, we're either going to get this piece up the stairs without it, causing some sort of damage, or if we're not going to be able to get that piece in at all, we will use our judgment. We'll let them know, hey, this is what we're looking at. Taking this couch up the stairs, it's a super tight area. The couch is very big. We're not going to be able to move it up there without potential for something to happen that is not going to be in favor for either of us. So I think keeping clients in the loop of what's going on the jobs, I think that really gives them more hope that we're going to do what's right, rather than us taking this one piece up and then us knowing that it's going to cause something bad and we still do it anyways. Then I think it makes us a lot better that if we just go ahead, have that conversation right then and there, and let them know what's going on.
And what's the most unusual thing you've ever been asked to move, or most unusual job? Do you have anything that comes to mind?
I get
Yeah.
asked that question a lot, and it's very hard to answer, because a lot of the jobs they run together. But I think not really more of an unusual one, but I guess kind of the most memorable one. We had a client where their parents were not very well, and we went in there. We were able to move their stuff from one location to another, get them into a new environment that was better for them, and also be able to for them, and kind of be more than just movers and packers or junk removal professionals. We kind of made it feel like we were with them through the struggles that they were going with, and we really felt that we were able to help them with whatever they were going through, to hopefully make their lives and their future lives a whole lot better.
I love how
Yeah,
you said that. Yeah, go ahead, Ann. Yeah.
every move matters. There's a story with everyone's move. Sometimes it's just for pure need, but oftentimes there's a reason for that. So I think that Christian brings up a great point, is that we really try to approach it with compassion and with care. And that's demonstrated by the employees and the hunks that we have out there.
I imagine one of the toughest moves you have is when people have to downsize, or they're going into, I guess, big house into a community, or a assisted living community. That must be tough for the people, especially.
That is really tough. As I mentioned, we do work with a lot of community collaborators. We recently had a health advocate named Paula Kelly, and Paula came out and was talking with us, and just kind of helping us learn a little bit more about advocacy and the making sure we want to make sure that anyone that's involved in a life decision is part of, the estimate process, receiving the estimate there for the day of the move, and to make decisions. It's really important to do that. So absolutely.
One of the things that I'm impressed about your company, I'd like you to talk a little bit about it too, is that you're involved in the community as well. Aside from just, the moving aspect of it, you're also, I know, involved in the chamber, and you're involved in some other community groups. What's your thinking behind that, or how do you get involved in the community?
Well, yeah, thank you for asking. The mission of College Hunks, Hauling Junk and Moving as a whole, is to move the world. And that's not just moving people's stuff, that's to do our part in the communities and the places that we serve. And so my husband Todd and I really take that to heart. And we do try to do what we can in the area, whether it's, in-kind services or working with different nonprofits. And it's been fun to see our team learn and grow through this. Some of the monthly speakers have been ABCCM. They've come and talked to us. We've done a lot of work with them, and that's been really important. Todd and I were honored to receive the Leadership Business Award from the Chamber of Commerce in May. So that was very exciting for us. But we just believe that that's, the one way that we can support our community is by working with some of the nonprofits and just doing our part to assist.
Okay. And so in terms of nonprofits, what are some of the things you help them with? Just saying that moving offices?
Moving, when I talk about ABCCM, that could be doing some labor things.
Yeah, I think
the Transformation Village, which is the women and children's transitional housing. We've moved piano. Pardon?
No, we're losing you a little bit.
So we've done different things for them. But can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Better. We had an exciting time recently. We've got a relationship with one of the volunteer coordinators, Shannon, and she said, I don't know if you have any availability, but I have 2 women that are leaving the shelter. They're getting their own place in Marion, and they don't have a huge inventory, but they need to be moved. Do you have any availability? And so we just did a pro bono move. It was in December. Our guys wore Santa hats, and it was our little, we felt like it was a little Christmas miracle because we were able to do it almost, I think it was same day. Team of 2 went out to Marion, took these women, and they're going to be living independently from, the transitional housing. So those are the things that we really enjoy doing. And then that's makes us happy.
Just a great organization, to support them. They just do phenomenal work. So let me ask you, moving ahead, down the road, what do you see for the future for your organization, Ann?
Oh, we just want to keep investing, in our people and keep growing and doing our part to serve. We've expanded our reach. Now we serve Waynesville. We also serve Brevard, in addition to the greater Asheville area, including Hendersonville, Flat Rock, Marshall, and those types of things. So, yeah. And
so, Kristen, same thing too. You've been with the company now 2 years. What do you see down the road for you, or in terms of the future?
My plans are to, keep growing myself, keep building myself, building my skills, keep, like Ann said, investing in the guys that we have to give them the skills that they want, actually show them, what they could possibly want in the future, but also, growing in the business, watching and being a part of, College Hunks, Hauling Junk and Moving of Asheville, be able to grow to what we know that it can be, and, being a part of that. And even in just the 2 years and the growth that we've made in just the 2 years that I've been here, it's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of a team like this. I look at this place as a lot more than just a job. I look at our hunks as a lot more than just coworkers. All of our hunks, they're like family. We try to make a family environment where all of us can be close. We all know each other very well. Like Ann was talking about with the culture, we really try to bring that culture into our franchise and make it to where someone can feel comfortable, being with us and doing the work that we do, and being able to just be around a bunch of caring people and being able to kind of, I guess, be a part of the mastermind of that is just kind of probably my biggest goal in the company, just to keep growing the business and myself and the team.
And what's so cool is that until 2 years ago, you had no idea you'd be doing this, right? You just, how do you find that? You just saw it advertised, or how did you find out about it?
Yeah, so I was kind of I worked in retail from the time I was 16, and then I found this job online, and I was kind of, in between jobs at that moment, and found this job online. And I thought, well, I've moved myself before. Well, it can't be that hard. And then applied for the company, and actually reached out to me a couple days later, and then came in for my interview. And then from day one, I realized that this isn't just moving my mother's house, helping her move or helping us move. This is a lot more than that. And like Ann said, this is we're a customer service organization that just happens to do moving and junk removal. So being able to realize that, and when starting at this company, I didn't know that I had the skills that I have with customer service and team management, and being able to kind of, I guess, be a leader for even guys that are, years older than I am. So yeah, I mean, I never thought that a moving company would be able to get me to where I'm at today, but it feels great.
I never thought you'd be hunk of the year. It's pretty
Never,
cool.
it did not cross
Right.
my mind at all.
And two final questions. Christian alluded to one of them. Are you looking, if somebody wants to come to work for you, are you looking for employees, or do you look for people to come on board?
Yeah, 100%.
I'll scan. Yeah, I'll scan that. Yeah, and
But we're always, yes, we're always hiring. You never know what's going on in someone's world, and who the next leader is that's out there.
so
We have part-time employees that are um have other jobs. Maybe it's a licensure or whatnot jobs. So someone can work 2 days a week. Someone may want to work full time. There's a lot of flexibility in this role. And that's pretty exciting. So yeah, we're always hiring. And I have one last question for you, but I'm gonna let you go next.
okay, but I'll finish that question. I have one other for you. Then you can ask the question to me. It's my show, Ann, not yours. This amazing. This woman has never done a podcast before, and now she's taking over. I'm impressed. But Ann, so if somebody is listening and they're very impressed with what they're hearing, and I certainly am, how would they find out information about the company, or to get hired by the company? What's the best bet?
Yeah, we've got job postings on Indeed. Our local phone number is 828-483-6054. And if you ever did Google us or go to our website, that would take you to we have a 24/7 call center, which is nice, because if someone has a need and they're thinking about them, they can reach them, and then it'll come back to our local office. We can assist that way.
And the website is what?
collegehunks.com.
collegehunks.com. And same thing too, if folks want to get information, not necessarily working for you, but about all the services you offer, that's the best bet to go to that website?
You can go to the website, absolutely.
Okay, on social media as well?
Social media, we are for Instagram, we're at College Hunks AVL.
Okay.
You can find us. And then we're out in the community a lot. We're involved in the Henderson County Chamber, Asheville Chamber. If you can't miss the orange and the green, if you see us, stop us. We're happy to help.
I love it. And now you're putting me on the spot. You had a question for me? So
This is a shout out to Hudson. He was a key player and was managing our operations for when we first got started. And his favorite question to ask when someone is interviewing is this question. So I'm going to ask you, Blaine. If you were a box, what would we find inside the box?
It's an interesting question. If I was a box, and he used that to interview people?
I'm interviewing you to come on the team, and this is my final questions. And before you answer, I'll tell you. I ask this question so we want to see how you can think, how well you can think on your feet. Every day with us is different. Flexibility is the name of the game. You never know what's going to happen, as Christian surmised, was explaining. And sometimes you have to think on your feet and make decisions. So again, there's no wrong answer. If you were a box and we open the box, what are we going to find inside, Blaine?
Lots of ideas.
I like it.
I always have ideas and come up with ways to do things, and if it can help people, fine. If not, that's okay too. But that's a great question, though. Thank you for asking that. Anyway, I'd like to thank both Christian and Ann for being my guests on this edition of the Blaine's World webcast. I'd also like to thank my producer, Cappy Tassetti, and we hope to see you maybe sometime in the future. I'll actually have you meet you in person, but don't count on us hiring you for a move, because we're not moving right away. So, I'll keep in the back of mind, but you never know. But very impressed. Thanks, guys. This was great.
Sure. Thank you.